Chaos. That's the only word that can describe what just went down inside the Browns locker room after their brutal loss to the Steelers. According to multiple reports, tensions hit an all-time high when rookie quarterback Shedeur Sanders confronted starter Dillon Gabriel, not in anger, but in cold, calculated authority. Players described the moment as something they'll never forget. It wasn't just a frustrated backup speaking his mind. It was a takeover. Right after the final whistle, the Browns' offense had collapsed yet again. Missed reads, turnovers, total disarray. Gabriel tried to rally the locker room with the same trust the process speech he's used for weeks. But this time, Shedeur wasn't having it. He looked him dead in the eye and said, "Bro, the process is broken. You can't lead a team when you can't even lead yourself." The entire locker room went silent. Veterans who've seen decades of NFL football said they'd never witnessed anything like it. There was no shouting, no emotion, just presence. Within minutes, that quiet moment turned into a storm. Phones lit up. Social media exploded. Players started posting cryptic messages. Fans demanded change, and inside ownership, whispers started turning into meetings. This wasn't a rookie outburst. This was a statement, a power shift. And after Sunday night, it's no longer about if Shedeur Sanders becomes the Browns starter. It's about when. Because when a leader speaks with that kind of conviction, the entire organization feels it. The meltdown didn't happen in a single play. It built up over 4 painful quarters. Dillon Gabriel looked lost from the opening drive, misreading coverages, missing open receivers, and turning the ball over 3 times. The Steelers' defense didn't just pressure him. They exposed him. Every drive felt slower, more predictable, and by halftime, the Browns' sideline was eerily quiet. Players avoided eye contact. Coaches whispered among themselves, and the energy that once fueled this team was completely gone. Through it all, Shedeur Sanders stood on the sideline, helmet on, expression locked in. He didn't pace, didn't talk, didn't flinch. But those watching closely said you could feel the shift. Every mistake from Gabriel wasn't just a loss on the scoreboard. It was another reason for the locker room to start believing the real leader wasn't under center. He was standing right beside them, waiting for his moment. Inside the Browns locker room, emotions were boiling over after another embarrassing loss. Dillon Gabriel tried to calm the chaos, standing in front of the team and delivering the usual cliches. "We'll learn from this. We'll bounce back." But before he could finish, Shedeur Sanders stepped forward, calm, collected, and fearless. He didn't yell. He didn't point fingers. He just looked Gabriel straight in the eye and said, "Bro, the process is broken. You can't lead a team when you can't even lead yourself." The room fell silent. No one dared move. Veterans later said they'd never seen that kind of confidence from a rookie. It wasn't ego, it was truth. In that moment, Shedeur didn't just challenge Gabriel. He took control of the locker room. Players who had stayed quiet for weeks finally saw what real leadership looked like. The moment Shedeur's words hit, everything changed, and not just inside the locker room. Within minutes, phones buzzed, group chats lit up, and whispers turned into headlines. By the time the team bus left Heinz Field, #StartShedeur was trending nationwide. Fans flooded social media with brutal comparisons. Gabriel's 9 turnovers versus Shedeur's flawless preseason stat line. One viral tweet read, "This isn't a QB battle anymore, it's a cover-up." Inside the team, the shift was undeniable. A veteran lineman posted an Instagram story of Shedeur lacing his cleats with the caption, "Leaders lead differently." Another player liked, then quickly unliked a tweet slamming Gabriel's performance. Too late. Screenshots were everywhere. The message was clear. The locker room was choosing sides, and the balance of power was tilting fast towards Shedeur Sanders. That night, the drama moved from the locker room to the boardroom. Browns owner Jimmy Haslam reportedly called an emergency meeting with Kevin Stefanski and GM Andrew Berry that stretched late into the night. Sources say Haslam's tone wasn't just frustrated. It was furious. He wanted answers. Why was Shedeur Sanders still benched while Gabriel continued to self-destruct on national TV? The meeting quickly turned tense. Stefanski defended his decision, citing system continuity and patience. But Haslam wasn't buying it. He'd seen enough. Weeks of wasted potential, a fractured locker room, and a fan base ready to revolt. It was all boiling over. Insiders described the moment as a reckoning. From that night on, the question inside Cleveland's headquarters wasn't if Stefanski would bench Gabriel. It was when. And everyone knew that once that move happened, there would be no turning back. Dillon Gabriel represents the old-school quarterback mold. Quiet, careful, and predictable. The kind of player coaches like because he follows the script, even when the script is failing. But Shedeur Sanders? He's cut from a completely different cloth. Born into the spotlight, he thrives under pressure, never afraid to speak up when the moment demands it. What separates Shedeur isn't just talent, it's presence. He doesn't force leadership, he commands it. Veterans who've seen countless locker rooms instantly recognized it. When he spoke, people listened. When he walked in, the energy shifted. This wasn't arrogance or disrespect toward Gabriel. It was authenticity. Shedeur didn't need to prove he belonged. Everyone already knew. His calm confidence exposed the gap between playing the role of a leader and truly being one. And that's when the Browns locker room quietly decided who their real quarterback was. On Monday morning, the Browns weren't just facing a quarterback controversy. They were facing an identity crisis. Inside the facility, the tension was thick enough to cut. Players avoided eye contact with Gabriel, while coaches whispered behind closed doors. The atmosphere felt like the calm before a storm everyone knew was coming. During practice, all eyes were on Shedeur. Every throw, every read, every huddle command was a statement, not just to the coaches, but to the entire organization. Sources say the difference was night and day. The offense moved sharper, faster, more alive when he ran it. It wasn't just potential anymore, it was proof. By the end of that day, one truth had become impossible to ignore. The Browns' future wasn't waiting on the bench anymore. It was already here, wearing number 12, demanding to be unleashed. By midweek, the Browns tried to project calm, but insiders knew better. This was controlled chaos. Kevin Stefanski stood at the podium, insisting Gabriel was still our guy. Yet everyone in the building could feel the ground shifting beneath him. The locker room wasn't fooled. Neither were the fans. Behind the scenes, ownership had already started evaluating contingency plans. Rumors suggested Jimmy Haslam was quietly pushing for a quarterback switch before the next divisional game, with some insiders even hinting that Stefanski's job could depend on it. Meanwhile, Shedeur Sanders kept his head down, focused, patient, and eerily composed. He didn't need to campaign for the starting role anymore. His leadership had already won the room. His performance had earned their respect, and his silence was saying everything that needed to be said. Everyone in Cleveland could sense it. This wasn't the end of a controversy. It was the beginning of a new era.